Welcome to the Your World Within podcast. I'm Eddie Pinero, and today I have an interview to share with you with David Meltzer. Now, those of you who follow the podcast, you know that this is where I share my thoughts, ideas, motivational, inspirational concepts, and stories, and I'm going to continue to do that. But in addition to that, I wanted to add an interview a week with someone who has impacted my life, who brings new ideas and challenges the status quo, someone who I think will add value to you as well. I did some interviews way back in the day at the beginning of the podcast. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to bringing that back. So about Dave Meltzer, one, just a generous guy, which is always first and foremost. I like to be around people, to associate with people that I believe are doing good in the world. David Meltzer is the co-founder of Sports One Marketing and formerly served as CEO of the renowned Leigh Steinberg Sports and Entertainment Agency, which, funny enough, was the inspiration for Jerry Maguire. So pretty cool story there, and just brings a lot of expertise. If you find yourself often in the business / personal development niche, there's a nice little intersection where they meet, and he's got a lot of brilliant content there talking about mindset, business, and where they connect. And that's what we go into, his journey, some of the epiphanies he's had, working really hard to create this ideal world, and then realizing maybe it's not so ideal. Maybe there are some things I have to change. And he talks about what he's learned along the way and how it's enabled him to be a better entrepreneur, and just a better person, as he states. So really excited, and hope you enjoy. Here's David Meltzer. I was thinking a fun place to start off would be this, being that this platform is so mindset focused in perspective, and it kind of revolves around the idea that how you look at things starts your transformation. You have, in me following and hearing your story, this sort of beautiful turning point in your life where you're incredibly financially successful and hanging around high profile people. And I think even built that dream house and had this realization that, hey, maybe the way I'm looking at the world is not conducive to my happiness. And you sort of took a shift. And I was wondering if you could start with that.
It's interesting because, I say, number one, my bottom had a basement, but my bottom wasn't when I lost everything. I did lose everything. I lost over $100 million, but that wasn't the turning point. I was more prepared when I lost everything emotionally, and my mindset was in a much better place than 2 years earlier when I went through my quantum shift, when I went through that transformation, as you said, by understanding I needed to change the way I looked at things so that things in my life would change. I had gone from a world of scarcity where everything happened to me as a victim, where everything was liable, meaning blame, shame, and justification in everything I did. I even then moved to a world of, just enough for me, where everything was a negotiation or a trade, even giving, right? I gave to receive. Everything was a trade or a negotiation. I'd buy things that were meaningless to me. I'd buy things I didn't need, in other words. And I'd buy things to impress people. I'd buy things to impress people I didn't even like. And my quantum shift was shifting the paradigm from those two worlds of to me and for me to through me. And once I realized that it wasn't just what I was connected to, it was what I was connected through, this great source of light, love, and lessons, that I was put upon this earth to live unconditionally, no judgments or conditions, to live my life in abundance of a universe of more than enough, with faith that there was more than enough, regardless of the pain, struggles, mistakes, setbacks that I was going to encounter. No longer would those be punishments, but instead they would be turn signals. They would be pushing me towards something better, not holding me from something better, but pushing me towards something better.
That's powerful stuff, man. And was there like a turning point that brought that about, or was it just the culmination of, like you mentioned, like a lot of little things?
Well, of course, is a culmination of a lot of little things, but there's three markers that I see as obviously I'm a Monday morning quarterback in my own life. So I get to look back and learn the lessons, the coulda, shoulda, wouldas of being a Monday morning quarterback.
Sure.
But when I was 30, there's three things. When I was 30, I received a birthday present from my father. It was the first present in 20 years that I'd received. My dad had forgotten my birthday at 10, told me he didn't believe in birthdays, which shook my world because it was bad enough he forgot my birthday, but to lie to me and tell me didn't believe in birthdays when he'd been celebrating his own birthday, his wife's birthday, my stepmom's birthday, my siblings' birthdays. I knew at that moment at 10, my dad was a liar. He was a cheater, a manipulator, an overseller, and a back-end seller. He was full of shit. And I hated him for 20 years. And so at my
That's a
30th
tough
birthday,
realization.
yeah, a 10, especially
Yeah.
when you've been telling your mom, since 5, why can't you be more like dad? Meanwhile, he's a deadbeat dad not paying child support. Your mom's working 2 jobs, giving you dinner in a paper bag while she fills up turnstiles at the 7-Eleven with greeting cards so we can eat. And I'm sitting there going, why can't you be more like dad? So yeah, I was full of a lot of resentment and anger. But at 30, he gave me a birthday present. He gave me a jacket. It was a sport coat, and it was beautiful. It fit perfectly. I started to cry. My dream girl, who I married from the 4th grade, my wife, she's like, why are you crying? I said, my dad finally gets it. He understands there's much more to life. My dad gets me. He loves me, a validation of a father. I put it on, realized, there was no pockets. He ripped out all the interior. And I was furious. I called him. I said, why are you punishing me on my birthday, my 30th birthday? I haven't talked to you 20 years. You haven't given me a gift. And now you're punishing me? You give me a jacket I can't wear? He said, it's not for wearing. I said, then why would you give me a jacket? He said, hang it in your closet and let it remind you that the money doesn't buy happiness, that you can't take anything with you when you're gone. I want you buried in that jacket. You're just like me. I'm nothing like you. You're a liar, a cheater, a manipulator, I'm nothing like you. I hate you. And I hung up. 6 years later, the second milestone or flag was presented in my life. My best friend, Rob, he actually had asked my wife for me at 6th grade camp to go steady. And she said, no, tell him to ask me himself. And he embarrassed me and he yelled in front of everyone, dude, she said no, she doesn't want to go out with you.
Tough crowd.
It was, man. I threw egg at her. I threw rocks at her. I told her she was ugly. So my wife hated me for years. But Rob, he was my best friend since I was 4, since the 4th grade. And I invited him. I was running a company called Leigh Steinberg Sports Entertainment. You had mentioned I was a multimillionaire with access to everything. Well, I invited him to the Masters to go to the cabins behind with Curtis Strange, net jet party with Joe Montana and Wayne Gretzky, everything paid for. I mean, the Masters, the badges alone are impossible to get. It's like the Academy Awards of sports, And he looked at me and he's like, nah, don't want to go. I'm like, what do you mean, Rob? You love golf. How can you not want to go to the Masters? It's like none other. He's like, well, I don't like who you are, who you hang out with, and what you're doing. I said, come on, you got to be kidding me. I'm not doing what those guys are doing, Rob. He said, Dave, you can lie to me, but don't lie to yourself. That crushed me. I will tell you, in retrospect, as the Monday morning quarterback telling the story, I still tell you that over 15 years had gone by and nobody told me anything but yes. I was only taking yes as an answer. And Rob was the only one, because he cared about me. He wasn't trying to use me, manipulate me, take from me, bleed me. He just cared about me, just wanted to tell me the truth. And the truth was, I was surrounding myself with the wrong people, the wrong ideas. That was number 2. The last draw, the bottom, occurred 2 weeks later. I asked my wife if I could go to the Grammy Awards with a rapper named Little John. He's a fairly famous rapper now, and producer, and commercial star, and TV star. Anyway, my wife said, you shouldn't go. You're not paying attention to your family. You're not paying attention to your business. and you're drinking and partying way too much. I'm worried about you. Don't go. Of course, I lied to her, changed clothes in the car, went to the Grammy Awards, came home 5:30 in the morning, complete wreck, and my wife was waiting for me. For the second time, I didn't get yes as an answer. I got, I'm leaving you. I'm not happy. You're going to end up dead if you don't take stock in who you are and what you want to become. I wish even that third time I was in a place to understand mindset wise. Not me, man. I went right at her. Judgments, conditions, and attacks. How dare you talk to me that way? Look around you. Who do you think made all this happen? I told her. You are so inappreciative. I want to leave you, or you can leave me. You're not happy. I'm not happy. And I went to bed. I woke up in the morning after years of believing money buys love and happiness, after years of the affirmations of multi-millions of dollars and access to everything. I was ready to get divorced. I was so mad. I wanted to take her love and happiness. I was going to take everything. And then I looked over in the closet and there was a jacket just staring at me. I hadn't seen it in years. Just like a book that you haven't read that just calls out to you, you know, you need this right now. I needed that jacket. I looked at that jacket and realized, man, I don't hate my wife. I don't hate my dad. I hate myself. I hate myself. I'm a liar. I'm a cheater. I'm a manipulator. I'm an overseller. I'm a back-end seller. I hate myself. I can't, everyone loves me. They want to be me. They want to be with me. And I can't stand me. So I decided to take stock in gratitude and forgiveness and accountability and live an inspired life. I decided that no longer would I look outside of me to blame everybody else in a world of being a victim of not enough, or looking to other people's approval to buy them things I don't need, to impress them, people I don't even like. But from now on, I was going to look inside of me. I was going to change the way I look at things, so the things I looked at change. I myself was going to give meaning to everything I see. I knew that day that I would find everything outside of me that I wanted by finding it inside of me through gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration.
So how, I mean, because that's like the perfect, everything comes full circle. And I think the interesting thing is, you know, you talk about all the time in your content about how much happier you are, how much better your life is. And where I struggle, as a speechwriter and as a human trying to make my way in the world, it's like, how do you articulate that money isn't it? Obviously it's access and it's important, and it opens doors, but the pursuit, like, it's so easy to just want to in lockstep chase it. And it's like, you got to touch the stove and burn your hand to realize it's hot, you know?
Yeah, it's so funny because I still believe money is the most important thing in the pragmatic world. See, I think money doesn't buy happiness or love, but it allows you to shop. The problem is most people don't take it to the next level and say, what am I shopping for?
Mm.
You know, see, when you shop for the right things, when you shop for community centers in Africa, scholarships to kids to go to college, when you shop for organic food and healthcare, you know, when you shop for things that mean something to you, aligned with your what and the who and the how and the now, and you apply your why. Money's very important. See, there's two currencies in my life. One still remains very important. Money is a currency, object of energy that I put into the flow to get what I want. But I need to know what I want, who I want it with, how I'm going to get it, why I want it, and you know what and how I prioritize that. But the second currency is even more important. The second currency is one I didn't have. See, I made everything happen in my life. I never had to ask for help. I believed that I was in control. You know, I never meditated. I believed that if you wanted something, you worked hard and you went out and got it.
Mm.
See, through the world of more than enough, it's a different paradigm shift. I believe through the second currency, faith. Faith is an object of energy you put into the flow that you get what you want. See, I'm faithful that if I believe with faith that I'm connected to and through the greatest source of light, love, and lessons, that means I already am happy. I already am healthy. I already am wealthy. I already am worthy. I just have to ask myself, what am I doing to interfere with it? And then use my free will to clear what I do to interfere with my health, my happiness, my wealth, and my worthiness. And that shift, that mindset shift of knowing I am. See, I used to worry about the mountains in front of me, and I make plan and discipline and strategy. How am I going over that mountain, around that mountain, through that mountain, under that mountain? How am I going to oversell that mountain, back end sell that mountain, lie to it, cheat it, manipulate it? How am I going to do it? No longer. The shift in the paradigm, the mindset is that which made the mountain is inside of me. That which made the mountain walks inside of me and beside me and inside of you. So there's nothing to worry about other than what's interfering with me in the mountain, what's interfering with me and what I already am. And that paradigm shift changes people's lives. So I created 5 daily practices, knowing your what, your who, your how, your now, and your why. Knowing these values, gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration to empower over 1 billion people to be happy by making a lot of money, helping a lot of people, and having a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's such a cool perspective, because then the financial piece becomes the multiplier of those values.
Right. Yeah.
That's
And a
awesome.
lot of people will tell you that about money, right? Money just enhances who you are. If you're an a-hole, money will make you a bigger a-hole. If you're kind, money will make you more kind.
Something that I wanted to touch on in your first story, I heard you mentioning this too in one of your lectures. You talked about during that process, you hit that roadblock where you did lose an excessive amount of money. You lost like $100 million. And another very unique perspective, because that happens to a lot of people and it's lights out, it's game changer, it's over. Your take on that's very different. Can you touch on that?
Yeah. I think it's my perspective of pain, as I kind of mentioned earlier, right? I believe in 3 laws. Number 1, the law of gravity, which is the most overlooked law of the universe that most people don't realize. What does the law of gravity tell you? I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, right here, feet on the ground.
Hmm.
I'm at the right place at the perfect time. See, until you realize that you're happy where you're at, that's why I say thank you before I go to bed and when I wake up. Too many people, they search for what's missing, what they don't want, or what other people want for them. They live and they focus in on their attention and intention on what's missing. And then they wonder why they keep getting what's missing. See, you got to be happy with what you have. I am happy, healthy, worthy, and wealthy. I am here. The law of gravity applies. The second law, the law of Goya, get off your ass, Goya. Most people are afraid to have the desire that they must be what they can be, to enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of their own potential, to angle to what they want. Meaning, when pain, mistakes, failures, setbacks, losing over $100 million occur, instead of seeing that as a stop sign, I see that as an indicator. I see it as an indicator I have a lesson to learn. I see it as an investment into that lesson. And sometimes the bigger the investment, the bigger the pain, mistake, failure, setback is, the greater the gain. See,
Mm.
the law of equity applies. So when you have a bigger problem, it then renders a bigger lesson and a bigger solution that puts you to a bigger place, a better place, or a better situation. So the law of Goya allows me to enjoy that consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential, that desire that I must be what I can be, by using pain, setback, mistakes, and failures as an indicator, a turn signal, not a stop sign. Then finally, the law of attraction. What I pay attention to and what I give intention to, the law of gravity and the law of Goya, equals the coincidences in my life, a mathematical equation of luck. Attention plus intention equals luck. So
Mm.
the law of attraction says, if I am happy where I'm at and angle to what I want with everything I have, I'm going to send a signal out to the universe, and it's going to clear the interference between me and that which already exists. And it's going to come to me more rapidly and accurately. I am attracting and allowing it to happen through my free will of clearing the interference between it and me, because I live in a world of infinite. I live in a world of limitlessness. I live in a world of abundance. I am connected to and through everything, because That light, love, and lesson is in everything. We have enough power in our pinky. Talk about interference. Bob Proctor taught me this years ago, right? We have enough power in our pinky to light up all of Manhattan. Imagine what we must be interfering with. See, too many people worry about having power. Truly, they're afraid of liberating the power they have. They want to diminish their own capacity so other people feel good around them. Not me. I'm going to liberate my light to liberate other people's life, empower others to empower others, to be happy, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun.
See, David, one of the things that I think is so unique about the way you tell your story and the way you communicate is you're philosophical, but you're also, and this is the part that I think a lot of people miss, is like you're very pragmatic. Like the law of attraction. I've been to seminars where people say, dream about something and you wake up and it'll happen. And I've heard you say, look, you can pin the boat to your wall, but you better get up and do something about it. And I think that's an important message. A lot of people miss that second part.
Yeah, I hated the movie The Secret. I'm in the second movie, Beyond the Secret, and I talk about that because John Asseroff is one of my friends. He's in the original Secret, right? And he talks about how he put up a house in Del Mar and he actually bought that exact house 20 or 30 years later. But what he fails to talk about, and he talks about offline, is
Middle.
right, like what he had to do to get the money to buy that house.
Right.
He didn't sit for 20 years on his bed looking at the house. Right. He made a shitload of money and he bought what he wanted and it came to him. But now, yes, is it a coincidence because he put his attention and intention? It was the exact house. Absolutely. It's a coincidence, but it doesn't happen without intention. He could have paid attention to the house as much as he wanted, but until he put intention into it, what he thinks, says, does, and believes, right? All the activity, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, he's a student of Goya for sure.
Oh, he taught me Goya. I stole Goya from him, so that's amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, perfect. I'm sure he'd be happy about that.
Yeah,
Hey, well, I definitely want to be respectful of your time, and I'm grateful you came on here. I think maybe one last thing you can float out is there's a lot of folks that listen to this that are pursuing big things and dreams, and they're very ambitious. And part of pursuing a life of meaning means you hit roadblocks and obstacles and difficult things. And perhaps you can leave us with a final sentence or something we can keep in our back pocket when that moment should arise to kind of ground us a little bit.
I remember gratitude is a superpower. Gratitude's the superpower that allows you to find the light, the love, and the lessons in everything, including pain, setbacks, failures, mistakes, all those things, that mountain. Find the light, the love, and the lesson in it. Remember, there are no problems when you have a solution. 2 + 2 was extremely challenging for me when I was little. I did flashcards, I'd practice, but eventually I knew it was 4, and now it's no problem. It was a big problem at one time for me. So is that big mountain in front of you. If you're facing bankruptcy, unemployment, health issues, your children aren't where you want them to be, find the solution. Look with the light of gratitude for the lesson in it. Life's about lesson. Lessons will keep on coming, resulting in pain until you've learned them. So let that pain indicate to you that you have an exciting journey of learning ahead of you, and use it as an indicator, as a turn signal. Remember, every time I see pain, I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm going to end up in a better place, a better situation. Remember, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Angle to what you want and use faith to know that you're going to end up somewhere better. Be kind to your future self. Do good deeds. I promise you, you will be happy. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com, if you need anything. My books, I give them for free. Ebook, audiobook. I'll sign a book, send you a copy. david@dmeltzer.com.
Okay, will do. And speaking of grateful, more than grateful for your time. So thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. I'll talk to you soon.